Welcome to the world of hidden treasure. If you've ever spotted a coin stamped Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1971 New Pence, don't scroll past, because that ordinary-looking piece of metal could be extraordinarily valuable. You might be holding a secret from the early days of decimalization, a rare relic worth far more than its face value. Stay locked in, hit that subscribe button, and join us as we uncover jaw-dropping stories behind UK coins that could make you the next accidental millionaire. Welcome to the world of hidden treasure. If you've ever spotted a coin stamped Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 1971 New Pence, don't scroll past, because that ordinary-looking piece of metal could be extraordinarily valuable. You might be holding a secret from the early days of decimalization, a rare relic worth far more than its face value. Certainly. Here's a detailed, 10-minute, paragraph-style explanation of the 1968 Elizabeth Senu de Greg Fudd New Pence. 2 pence coin, a significant pre-decimalization issue that marks the beginning of Britain's transition to decimal currency. This narrative is designed to inform collectors, educators, and YouTube history enthusiasts alike. The 1968 Elizabeth II de Greg Fudd 2 New Pence coin holds a unique and historically significant place in the evolution of British coinage. Though the UK's formal switch to decimal currency didn't happen until Decimal Day on February 15, 1971, this coin was actually struck and dated 3 years earlier, making it the first ever dated 2 pence coin under the decimal system. The 1968 issue is not just a coin. It is a prelude to a national monetary revolution. This piece represents the Royal Mint's forward planning and preparation to ease the public into the upcoming decimal currency. These coins were produced in large numbers ahead of time and stored, ready for mass release when decimalization officially began. As such, although dated 1968, the coin was not released into circulation until 1971. Still, its 1968 date makes it symbolically powerful, marking the very beginning of the modern currency era. The obverse of the coin features the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by renowned sculptor Arnold Machine R.A. It portrays Her Majesty facing right, crowned with the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic pieces of jewelry. This portrait, known for its grace and youthful elegance, was introduced in 1968 and remained in use until 1984. Surrounding the portrait is the traditional Latin inscription, Elizabeth II de Greg Fudd 1968, which expands to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription follows centuries-old royal tradition, emphasizing both the divine right of the monarch and her role as Supreme Governor of the Church of England. It grounds this coin in Britain's rich royal and constitutional heritage, even as it was preparing for a sweeping modernization of its currency system. On the reverse of the 1968 2 New Pence coin is a design created by Christopher Ironside, the artist behind all 6 reverse designs of the original decimal coins. The reverse features the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet, accompanied by a ribbon bearing the motto Ich diene, which is German for I serve. This emblem has been associated with the Prince of Wales since the 14th century and links the coin to the enduring royal lineage of the British monarchy. Below this emblem is the denomination, boldly rendered in uppercase, New Pence. The inclusion of the word new was vital in this transitional period, helping to differentiate the coin from the old pre-decimal pennies. It signified the dawn of a fresh era, one where 100 pence would equal £1 sterling, replacing the old system of 240 pence to the pound. In terms of specifications, the 1968 2 New Pence coin was struck in bronze, made up of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It has a diameter of 25.9 mm, a weight of 7.12 grams, and a plain edge. These specifications remained consistent for over a decade, making it easy to compare across different mint years. The coin's reddish-brown hue, a result of its high copper content, is one of its most distinctive visual features. When fresh from the mint, it had a warm, golden-red shine, though many circulated examples today have darkened with age and oxidation. The coin's heptagonal shape had not yet been introduced. This coin is round, following the standard circular format of earlier British coins, yet fully modern in its system. Although 1968 dated 2 new pence coins were not officially released into circulation until 1971, the Royal Mint struck a very large number of them in advance. As a result, while historically interesting, the coin is not rare in circulated condition. Its real value lies in its contextual importance, not scarcity. That said, coins preserved in brilliant uncirculated (BU) or proof condition, especially those from pre-decimal mint sets or Royal Mint presentation packs, can command collector interest. BU versions may be worth between $1 and $3, while proof examples, with their highly polished finishes and fine details, may sell for $5 or more depending on condition and packaging. For collectors building a complete decimal set, the 1968 dated 2p is essential, as it represents the earliest date in the decimal series, despite not having been legal tender until 1971. The 1968 2p coin is also a prime example of how coins act as bridges between the past and the future. It retains the majesty of royal symbolism and time-honored inscriptions, while at the same time, it boldly embraces the UK's transformation toward a more globally aligned currency system. The decision to retain certain monarchical and heraldic elements during the currency redesign showed that even while modernizing, Britain chose not to abandon its identity. This careful balancing act is embodied in the 1968 2p coin. It tells us as much about national values as it does about economy or minting practices. While the coin does not have known mint errors or varieties specific to 1968, some collectors seek out high-grade strikes, dye polish lines, or lustrous examples, with full original red color, which are increasingly hard to find after 5 decades. These visually striking examples are worth preserving and may be of future numismatic interest, especially in complete Royal Mint sets. In addition, the fact that this was the first decimal 2p ever struck, but held back from circulation for 3 years, adds a fascinating logistical layer to its story, revealing how much effort and foresight the Royal Mint undertook to ensure the decimal transition would be smooth. In conclusion, the 1968 Elizabeth II degregved 2 new pence coin is a historically pivotal piece that signals the UK's transition into modern decimal coinage. It stands at the very edge of 2 monetary worlds, the fading imperial-era pound-shilling pence system and the clean, simplified decimal system we know today. As the first minted decimal 2 pence coin, its symbolic weight far exceeds its face value. While abundant in numbers, its meaning is profound. For collectors, historians, and British citizens alike. Certainly, here is a long-form, detailed, 10-minute paragraph-style explanation of the 1971 Elizabeth II degregved new pence UK coin, focusing on the 2 new pence coin from that year, the very first year of decimalization in Britain. This is ideal for collectors, historical researchers, or scriptwriters crafting engaging numismatic content. The 1971 Elizabeth II degregved 2 new pence coin is a cornerstone in the history of British coinage, marking the beginning of a bold new era, the decimal day transformation. Decimalization took place on February 15, 1971, shifting the United Kingdom away from its centuries-old system of pounds, shillings, and pence, and fully embracing a modern decimal currency system. The introduction of this coin, the 2 new pence, symbolized both progress and cultural adjustment, and the coins minted in that year represent the very first full series of decimal coinage released into general circulation. These early decimal coins are therefore much more than currency. They are tangible historical artifacts that document a fundamental change in everyday British life. On the obverse of the 1971 2p coin is a youthful effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, designed by Arnold Machin, one of the most recognized sculptors of royal portraits. This portrait features the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and it was used on all British coinage from 1968 until 1984. The inscription around her portrait reads, Elizabeth II degregved 1971, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. A Latin phrase long used on British coinage, anchoring it in a royal and religious tradition that goes back centuries. The reverse design of the 1971 2 new pence coin was created by Christopher Ironside, who designed the reverse sides of the entire original decimal coin series. The coin features a striking image of the Prince of Wales's feathers, which consists of 3 ostrich plumes emerging from a coronet, accompanied by the motto, Ich diene, a German phrase meaning I serve. This emblem is traditionally associated with the heir apparent to the British throne, and its use on the 2p coin links the currency to royal symbolism and national identity. Beneath the emblem appears the denomination, new pence. This wording was used from 1971 until 1981 to differentiate the new decimal coinage from the pre-decimal system. The change was needed because, prior to decimalization, 2 pence might have referred to 2 old pennies, which were larger in size and different in value. The word new made it clear this was part of the decimal system, where 100 new pence equal £1 sterling. In terms of physical specifications, the 1971 2p coin was made of bronze, composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin, giving it a rich reddish-brown hue when freshly minted. It has a diameter of 25.9 mm, a thickness of 1.85 meters, and weighs approximately 7.12 grams. It has a plain edge, and although not uncommon, the coin's solid construction gives it a reassuring weight in the hand. Struck at the Royal Mint, the 1971 2p was minted in vast quantities to ensure sufficient supply for the nationwide currency transition. With over 1.4 billion 2p coins minted in 1971, it remains one of the most widely produced coins in British history. Because of this, the coin is not rare, but its significance is far greater than its scarcity might suggest. It marked the first time most Britons used decimal coins in everyday life, shopping, saving, and trading using a system familiar to most of the world, but new to the UK. Although most 1971 2p coins in circulation today are worn and have little more than face value, uncirculated or proof versions from mint sets are highly sought after. These coins often appear in brilliant uncirculated BU sets or proof sets from the Royal Mint, where they were preserved in pristine condition. In iron, this high-grade values can range from $1 to $5, depending on presentation, condition, and packaging. The proof coins especially feature mirror-like finishes with frosted details, showcasing the sharpness of Ironside's design and machine's royal portrait. These versions remain collectible today and are often included in historical decimalization sets celebrating the radical change in British currency. Collectors are also interested in the linguistic evolution of the denomination on the coin. The term new pence was only used on coins dated from 1971 to 1981. In 1982, the denomination changed from new pence to simply 2 pence, as the public had by then fully transitioned to the decimal system. As a result, all new pence coins are now seen as part of a finite early decimalization series. For those assembling complete decimal date runs, a 1971 coin is not just required, it's essential. It's the first year of issue and represents a baseline against which later versions are compared. In numismatic circles, 1971 is often seen as a foundational date in post-decimal British coin collecting. Another compelling reason to collect the 1971 2p is the sheer number of cultural memories attached to it. For many British citizens, this coin represents their first experience with decimal money. It was used in the classroom, in pocket money exchanges, in corner shops, and in every aspect of daily life. Its larger size and reddish color made it a memorable and distinct part of the coinage set. Many collectors today recall being children during decimalization and holding one of these coins with fascination. In that sense, it's not just a coin, it's a portal to a national memory. It's often found in coin jars, attics, and family heirlooms, not because of its rarity, but because of its emotional and educational significance. Though not associated with any major minting errors, collectors still inspect 1971 2p coins for minor die varieties, off-center strikes, and misalignments, which can carry a premium. It's always worth checking coins from this year with a magnifying glass or loupe, especially those in high-grade condition. Errors are more common during years of mass production and new processes, factors both true of 1971. However, no major Royal Mint recognized error varieties exist, making authentication important when claims of rarity arise online. In summary, the 1971 Elizabeth II de Gregft 2 new pence coin stands as a historical milestone, marking the shift to decimalization, embodying the art of machine and Ironside, and connecting generations of Britons to a time of national transformation. It may be one of the most common coins ever produced, yet it remains historically invaluable, emotionally resonant, and permanently tied to the narrative of modern Britain. For collectors, educators, and historians alike, it is more than a piece of bronze. It is a bridge between eras, a lesson in change, and a coin that marked the beginning of the end for the old imperial system. Would you like this styled into a YouTube voiceover script with scene cues? Or would you like me to continue with the 1972 or 1981 new pence in a similar format next? Certainly. Here's a long-form, detailed 10-minute paragraph-style explanation of the 1992 Elizabeth II de Gregford 2-pence coin from the UK. This coin belongs to the well-known decimal series and is notable for a major metal composition, change, and a subtle but important shift in modern British coinage history. The 1992 Elizabeth II de Gregford 2-pence coin marks a significant turning point in the evolution of British decimal coinage, not because of a drastic design overhaul or a rare error, but due to a deliberate shift in metal composition that had long-lasting effects on circulating coinage. Though the outward appearance of the coin remained largely unchanged from its predecessors, what lay beneath the surface was revolutionary. The 1992 2p coin was the first year the Royal Mint issued this denomination, using copper-plated steel, rather than the traditional bronze alloy that had been in use since the coin's introduction in 1971. This change was a response to rising metal costs, especially the increasing price of copper, which had made the continued use of solid bronze economically unsustainable for mass coin production. While casual users wouldn't notice a difference, collectors and experts immediately recognized the change by the coin's slight magnetic properties, as steel is magnetic and bronze is not. This technical transition marked the beginning of a new era in UK coin production, one where practicality, cost efficiency, and metal management began to reshape the nation's money. The obverse of the 1992 2-pence coin features the iconic second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklouf. This version of the monarch's image was introduced in 1985 and was used until 1997. It shows the Queen wearing the George IV state diadem, a regal crown set with diamonds and pearls that she traditionally wears during the state opening of Parliament. The inscription encircling the portrait reads, Elizabeth II de Gregford 1992, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God Queen, Defender of the Faith. This formula, though historic in nature, has appeared on British coins for centuries and remains a traditional hallmark of the monarchy's legitimacy. Maklouf's depiction is notable for its elegance and a more mature but still idealized presentation of the Queen, differing from the youthful realism of Arnold Machine's earlier portrait and the later, more solemn effigies by Ian Rank Broadley and Jody Clark. The reverse side retains Christopher Ironside's enduring 1971 design, an emblematic depiction of the badge of the Prince of Wales. This consists of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet with a ribbon below bearing the German motto Ich diene, which translates to I serve. Beneath the badge is the denomination inscription 2 pence. This is a small but important detail. Unlike coins issued from 1971 to 1981 that bore the words new pence, the inscription was changed in 1982 to read simply 2 pence, reflecting the public's full adjustment to decimal coinage. By 1992, this updated wording had become standard. The change symbolized the final maturity of the decimal system in British society, with new, now unnecessary. The reverse design is both artistically appealing and steeped in royal tradition, connecting the coin to the Prince of Wales and his lineage, while remaining instantly recognizable in the hands of millions of Britons. In terms of physical specifications, the 1992 2p coin has a diameter of 25.9 millimeters, a thickness of 1.85 meters, and weighs around 7.12 grams, although the shift in metal composition can result in a slightly lighter feel than older bronze coins. It has a plain edge and a distinctly coppery appearance when new. However, due to the steel core, it is magnetic, unlike its bronze predecessors. This magnetic property can easily be tested using a simple magnet, and is often how collectors distinguish between earlier and later issues. Though the Royal Mint would continue to use copper-plated steel for all 2p coins going forward, 1992 was the pioneering year of this change. making it of special interest to numismatists who track design and material transitions in UK coinage. History. The mintage of the 1992 2p coin was relatively low by 2p standards, with only around 129 million struck for circulation. Compared to the billions minted in earlier years like 1971 or 1980, this makes the 1992 issue moderately scarce, though not rare. However, high-grade uncirculated or proof specimens, especially those found in Royal Mint annual sets, are particularly attractive to collectors. These versions showcase superb detail and luster, highlighting the feathers in the Prince of Wales' badge and the sharp crown details in the Queen's portrait. Over time, circulated 1992 2p coins tend to darken and lose their original sheen, so finding bright, lustrous examples from this year is increasingly desirable. Value-wise, most circulated 1992 coins are still worth face value, but mint condition or proof examples can fetch between $1 and $3, depending on demand and packaging. One of the more interesting aspects of the 1992 coin lies in its symbolism of quiet transition. Unlike flashy commemorative issues or limited edition rarities, the 1992 2p coin stands as a quiet milestone in practical minting. It was part of a broader trend across mints worldwide, in which governments sought to cut costs without disrupting the visual familiarity of coins used daily. The British public kept using the coin without noticing any difference, yet numismatists saw it as a technical landmark, where appearance masked transformation. The Royal Mint's decision to switch from bronze to copper-plated steel helped reduce production costs significantly, ensuring long-term sustainability. This approach would eventually be applied to other coins in the UK system, such as the 1p and 5p, further embedding cost efficiency into the Royal Mint's operations. To the average citizen, the 1992 2p coin may appear completely ordinary, but to a dedicated coin collector or historian, it is a symbol of strategic evolution, a coin that embodies the balance between tradition and economic reality. It may not boast an elaborate commemorative design or a limited mintage figure, but its importance is far more subtle. It represents a moment when the Royal Mint adapted silently, maintaining the heritage and recognizability of the nation's coinage while re-engineering its very substance. For those studying the progression of British coinage, the 1992 2p is an essential inclusion, especially when building a date run or analyzing composition changes across the decades. In conclusion, the 1992 Elizabeth II de Gregft 2p coin is not just another decimal-era penny, it's a pivotal moment in the United Kingdom's numismatic journey. While millions were struck, and it may seem mundane to some, it quietly heralded the end of solid bronze coinage, ushering in a new era of efficient, cost-effective production that would shape UK coinage for generations. It's a coin that tells a story, not of kings and battles, but of engineering, foresight, and a nation's ability to adapt without forgetting its roots. Would you like a YouTube voiceover script version of this content? Or would you like to explore other years like 1993 or 1982 next?